Welcome back. I'm now here with IU East women's soccer player Ellie Guenther. Ellie, this is your first time on the show, so welcome.
Thank you. I'm Ellie Guenther. I'm a junior here at IU East. This is only my second year actually playing, but I'm really happy to be on this show too.
So let's kind of figure out how you got to this point, where you are right now. What high school did you go to?
I went to Perry Meridian High School. It's in Indianapolis, Indiana, more on the south side.
And have you been playing soccer your entire life, or is this a fairly new thing?
I've been playing since I was in about fourth grade, and actually competitively since I was in about sixth grade, because my cousin played at University of Kentucky, and I went to a couple camps there, and I actually picked up soccer. But my first sport was actually basketball.
And is there like a reason you didn't continue on basketball?
I played in high school, but then I found out that I was actually better at soccer, and with club and everything going on, I didn't have a lot of time, and it was just, the schedules was crazy, so I just focused more on soccer.
Well, it seems to have worked out pretty successfully for you, because now you're playing for IU East. How did IU East find out about you playing soccer?
So it's actually a funny story. I played club ball at FC Pride. It's in Lawrence, Indiana, kind of close to Warren Central. And Shane actually was one of our trainers during the winter, and I was like, oh, this guy's kind of crazy and funny. Like, it was so fun to train with him, and honestly, it was just during the winter, so I didn't really know him that well. It was like every other week type thing. But then I was actually committed to a different college my senior year, and my brother went there as well. And we found out in the spring that the school was closing, and I had torn my ACL, so I couldn't really play for anybody to like show them like usually you have to go through a process to get recruited and everything. And so I was kind of in the dumps, like, oh my goodness, where do I go now? And I actually called up my club coach from high school, and he told me that IU East was starting up a soccer program, and Shane was a coach. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to go visit this man and talk to him. And I ended up calling him when I was going out to dinner with my family, and he wanted me to come out there and see him and meet him, and it just kind of kicked off. So.
And it really did kick off, because IU East has had an extremely successful soccer program. They started off a fairly young program, and now all of a sudden we just got done with a season that ended in a national tournament. So just tell me a little bit about that experience. What's it been like playing on this new IU East soccer team?
So freshman year was definitely crazy, especially because I then tore my other ACL and had surgery right before the year started, so I had a redshirt my freshman year, but then also 7 other girls tore their ACLs. That was kind of crazy for our whole team. It was kind of a downer because we knew that we were better than that, and like it didn't showcase, but for a first year program I thought we did really well, and then as the years went on, like last year we did really well obviously, but I think we should have gone farther, and this year actually showed, so yeah. It's awesome.
And you've been a key defender on this team. Your leg is insane. I've gotten to watch all the games this season, especially at home. I've never seen somebody with a bigger leg sending soccer balls downfield.
I really have no idea how I do it. But yeah, I've always been able to kick pretty far. And people in high school would call me like Das Boot and stuff like that because I'm German. And so it's actually been pretty funny. But yeah, I have no idea how I do it, but I always do.
Is there like a certain training regimen you go through to get something as strong of a leg like that?
I mean, I usually just do the workouts that we do. I mean, obviously, like, I'm pretty tall and big and strong, so naturally, I think I just have always been able to. But the CrossFit that we're doing really does help. It's pretty awesome, but it's tough stuff.
So not only are you a great player on the field, but you're also a great person off the field, because you get to do a lot of work, especially being a liaison for the River States Conference Athletic Committee. And I know there's a lot of moving parts. So would you mind explaining just a little bit what you do in all these committees?
So for every school, we have a committee, and they take like 2 or 3 athletes from each team, and we form a group, and it's called SAC, which stands for the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. And we meet every other week to make decisions about like volunteer hours and fundraising for SAC, and at the end of the year we put on the banquet for all the athletes, and it's pretty fun. It's a nice thing that gets all the athletes together, and hopefully we're going to do more with that. We have some upcoming stuff, and the fundraisers at Chipotle, and we get money for that. That helps raise money for our banquet at the end of the year as well. But then, so the president and the vice president of our school, so me and Dustin Reynolds, he's on the track team, and we represent our school in the River States Conference SAC. And so, but I'm also the president of the River States Conference SAC meetings, and we talk more about how rules on whether or not we need patches. Everybody should have a patch on their jerseys, or different national championship venue changes or stuff like that. But I'm the president for that. So then that means that I have to go and meet with all of the NAIA representatives. So I represent the River States Conference at the NAIA level. And that's a pretty cool thing. We actually, in March, we have a convention that me and Joe Griffin and possibly Coach Selhorst will be attending, and all of the athletic directors and representatives will go to that, and a lot more people, and so I'm really excited for that. But it's kind of crazy.
I mean, it really sounds like it too. It sounds like it's a crazy mix of busyness, but also it really helps out with not only IU East, but also the NAIA in general.
It's a really interesting thing to be a part of. I really like it.
So finally ending off, do you have any tips for athletes that are trying to either get involved with committees like that, or trying to just get involved with their community on top of balancing sports?
So a part of getting committed into those, or you really just have to walk around school, especially at the beginning of the year, they have all of those tables set out, and kind of talk to other athletes too. I found out I'm also a part of SAT, which puts on all of the events for the students. So the Valentine's Day event is actually the event that I'm chairing. So I helped pick out all of the stuff for that. But I didn't find out until I started talking to Keating Rombach and Jalen McKay, and they kind of got me into SAT. And then the ambassador program, I kind of help out with that sometimes too. Talking to Maggie Davis is another great thing because it helps with public speaking. I'm honestly not a good public speaker, and I get really nervous, and having to do that actually has helped me a lot with that. But honestly, getting involved does help make your college experience a lot better, because my freshman year I wasn't involved, and I was kind of bored a lot. I didn't know really what to do, and it's just a great way to meet other people too from different, that's not in sports. So I really like it. And honestly, just managing your time is most important.
Well, thank you so much, Ellie, for being on the show for the first time ever. Hopefully
Thanks
it wasn't too scary.
No, it wasn't.
And this has been another episode of Inside IU Sports. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.